Welcome to Queza. As far as our opening hand goes, yes, I like it. We've got Mana Crypt, we've got 2 lanes in the hand, we got Snapcaster, some board control, and Toxic Deluge, and we got Veto, which is, it's always nice to have that with Queza. And we got Limdul's Vault to find whatever we may need. Hopefully, we do have some combos in here, so if we need to shut the game out or close the game out, hopefully we can use Limdul's Vault to find the missing combo piece that we are looking for. All right, we run into Tezzeret, so let's go and lead off with, I guess we'll just lead off with Hollowed Fountain. I think we're cool with that. Not going to pay 2 on that, and then anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Queza. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Playing as Korvold. Flying whenever Korvold enters the battlefield or attacks, sacrifice another permanent. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1 counter on Korvold and draw a card. An opponent's going to go for a Prosperous Innkeeper, which is going to give them a treasure token on the battlefield. All right, and we do run into Talisman of Dominance. So let's go Misty. Let's crack Misty, grab ourselves a black-blue source, and we'll be able to go for Mana Crypt. And actually, we'll go grab Underground Sea. That sounds good. Let's go Mana Crypt. And that'll allow us to end up going for Talisman of Dominance for 1/2. There we go. Anything for 3. Let's see what Tezzeret is. 6 total mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had a land next turn. We're actually online for Tezzeret. If we wanted to get Tezzeret going very early on in the game, that's something we could do. So anything else, we will pass the turn. So we'll see if they kind of deploy what they deploy out. We do have Toxic Deluge to kind of clean up the board state, so we might end up doing that. But yes, anyway, welcome to Queza. We got some fun stuff to talk. Actually, we did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that will apply my affiliate link. That'll allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. So if you do use that link, much obliged. I certainly appreciate it. Let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders if you want to play Commander online. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home with Queza and your floating orbs, it is officially free time, so let's have some fun. All right, so we got Prosper swinging from 1, drop us down to 38. We can Limdul's Vault for a land, and that would put us on Tezzeret, and we can get the Tezzeret train going, or we can just go for Queza. We've got Snapcaster Limdul's. Let's Limdul's Vault. I want to make sure we have a land for next turn because I really do like getting Tezzeret down. So let's get this popped out. We will pay live to kind of, and actually that would be Plains. Thirst for Discovery, Tolarian Winds. Let's see, yeah, we'll go and pay live. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for just kind of a value keep. Iconic Rift, man, oh yeah, I like that. We're not going to pay live. Let's see how we're going to set this up. So let's put, and actually with Windswept Heath, yeah, that's just going to shuffle it away. So either, yeah, that's fine. So we'll put Ornithopter, Cyclonic, Mana Drain, Sphinx Rev, and then Windswept Heath. So we do have Snapcaster, Limdul Vault out of the graveyard if we need to do that. So let's get the Mana Crypt going. We're going to choose Tails on this Mana Crypt trigger. 1 the flip. Let's drop in Windswept Heath and let's get Tezzeret onto the battlefield. So let's go and crack Windswept Heath. Let's grab ourselves Tundra. And let's go for Tezzeret. Let's get Tezzeret on the battlefield. I like that. So it's going to be 1, 2. Tap down blue and black. And 1 more. Let's go for the +2. And then anything else pass the turn to our opponents. We're looking at Tezzeret sitting at 7. Probably going to end up seeing Prosperous swinging in at Tezzeret. So, but at this point, we're just kind of just going for the value play. Going for that +2 turn after turn. We can go for the -8 with Tezzeret, but at this point, we're just trying to tax away our opponent's life total. So that's kind of name of the game. But yes, with Queza, if you haven't seen Queza, and actually our opponent said something in the chat. They said hi and good luck, so we're returning the hi and good luck to them. But yeah, with Queza, if you haven't seen this deck, I did release a gameplay footage of it last week if you want to check it out. What we're doing in this deck is just kind of like a slow Esper. How do you describe it? It's just, we've got combos in here, but it's really just kind of what you're doing in Esper. It's just kind of going for board control, spot removal. We got some counter magic in here, and we have a couple different combos that we're using to try to grind the game out. And we got Mindcrank combo in here with this Mindcrank and Dustmantle Guildmage. We also do Thopter Foundry and Sword of the Meek combo to get a lot of artifacts on the battlefield. So let's go and choose Tails on this Mana Crypt trigger. And also, we have Peer into the Abyss, which is a lot of fun. All right, so let's go for, let's clean up the board. Let's go Tezzeret, not, excuse me, Tezzeret. Let's go Toxic Deluge. That's going to be 1, 2, and we do need to toxic for 4. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Click OK. It's going to clean them out. Clean those creatures out. Let's go for +2. And let's get Queza onto the battlefield. We got just enough, so make sure tap down black, tap down white. There we go, get Queza down. And then anything else, pass it over to our opponent. So we're sitting in a pretty good spot. If we wanted to Snapcaster on Limdul's Vault for a card draw source, we certainly could. We're also getting to the point to where this can be 1, 2. We need one more. Now we do have a black source. So with Peer into the Abyss, it's going to be 7 total mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we actually do have Snapcaster and Peer into the Abyss. If we want to end up going for that, that would be a pretty quick shutout to the game. But with Peer into the Abyss, it really does. It's just like a one-hit KO. So let's see what we draw into if we want to end up going for that. We can try to go for the Tezzeret Ultimate and go for the -8 and potentially run into one of some of our combo pieces, Thopter and Sword of the Meek. Yeah, we'll kind of see what's going on. And yeah, let's do that. So let's see what we draw into for the turn before we end up doing that. So let's choose Tails on this Mana Crypt trigger. Won the flip. And we run into Mystic Sanctuary. All right, so we're going to lose 1 life. They lose a life, and we're going to gain 1 life. Because we're kind of far away from the Tezzeret Ultimate. Not Ultimate. We're far away from draining them out with Tezzeret. So let's see what the -8 does. Because we go for 2. Yeah, let's try the -8. I think we're cool with that. So let's go for the -8 off of Tezzeret. We're going to exile the top 8. So it's going to be Lightning Greaves and Ornithopter, which is good. We will take that. So let's drop in Mystic, because we do have the necessary islands, and that will put Limdul's Vault on top. But unfortunately, that'll actually keep us away. And we could set that up for next turn if we wanted to. So let's go Lightning Greaves onto Queza, because we do want to protect Queza. Yeah, because we can actually Mystic Sanctuary. We'll put Limdul's Vault on top of our library, because if we end up vaulting for Peer into the Abyss, I think that, yeah, I kind of like Peer into the Abyss. So yes, we're going to use that ability. That's going to go on top. Let's drop in Veto. Tap down for 2. And then why should we just go and push in for 3? I think we're cool with that. So swinging in for 3, then anything else, pass it over to our opponent. But yes, we're running Mindcrank, Dustmetal, Guildmage. If you don't know that combo, with Mindcrank, whenever our opponent loses a life, they put a card into the graveyard. With Dustmetal Guildmage, it has an activated ability for 3 that says, hey, whenever a card goes to the graveyard, they lose a life. And so basically what ends up happening is they just kind of high-five and create this loop of card go to the graveyard, life loss, and it just keeps going until they run out of cards or they run out of life total. So that's definitely one way to close it out. We do have a Limdul's Vault. With Limdul's Vault, we're probably going to end up grabbing Peer into the Abyss, because that's going to give us a way to close the game out. Peer into the Abyss draws a lot of cards and it closes it out. And 1v1, Peer into the Abyss is pretty much an automatic win, depending on what their life total's at. You know, for the most part, it's pretty much always going to be that. So but yeah, that's going to close it out, because if we leave Korvold out here, it's not going to be, I don't think that'll be the best for us. So we run into Limdul's Vault. That's going to be an extra life gain. They lose that much life. There we go. Drop them down to 31. And yeah, we'll go and push in. So let's do that. So let's go and swing in. And we're not going to swing in with Ornithopter. All right, so we're swinging in for 4. That's going to drop them into 27. And then we'll Limdul's Vault next turn, on our opponent's turn, for Peer into the Abyss, and then we'll have enough black. We have enough black mana for it with Talisman of Dominance, and that's going to be 7 total mana. And yeah, that'll grab it. So I hate to go for Peer into the Abyss in 1v1, but there's just sometimes where it's in here and we've got to go for it because it closes the game out. But yeah, the other combos I was talking about is there is Lich's Mastery, which I'm still debating on putting it in here. It is pretty much just an auto win with Queza, so I'll probably end up getting it in here because, you know, we're playing Queza and you want to win the game, so we'll probably end up getting that in there. But I don't know, it just feels, I don't know, I love it. I love doing Peer into the Abyss. It's such a quick win sometimes, but it feels good. I enjoy it. All right, so it's going to be Swiftfoot Boots on the Gadrak, swinging in for a 5/4. Excuse me, it cannot attack just yet. So let's get the Limdul's Vault going. That way we can set up the line of play. I like that. So we're going to get Limdul's Vault going. Hopefully we don't click past what we're looking for. That's going to be the main thing that we're trying to do. All right, so let's get this popped out. So that's, and actually I'm going to go ahead and just kind of cycle through the deck and then grab the card that we need. All right, there we go. So we do run into Peer into the Abyss. We are not going to pay life on this one. Let's go, and actually, it doesn't really matter how we set it up. So let's go Arcane Signet, Psychosis Crawler, Jason Mind Sculptor, Dark Deal, and then Peer into the Abyss. All right, there we go. So our opponent's going to get their Gadrat trigger, and let's draw into Peer into the Abyss, and you're going to be able to see just how potent this is. Now, this does clean up in 1v1. There's no doubt about it. But you can see where, depending on how you have your deck set up with other things in there, Peer into the Abyss does close it, and we need to draw those cards. Target player draw cards equal to yes. Do not want to give it to our opponent. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Tap down Talisman. That'll be 1 damage to us. And then we're going to pay 1, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, Peer into the Abyss does close out in 1v1 Commander. But there are some times to where, you can use Peer to close out the game on one player. But also, when you're resolving a Peer into the Abyss, at the same time, you're going to draw a ton of cards. So that's going to allow you to clear the board out on the table. Let's get these triggers on the stack. There we go. Always yield, and let's go ahead and save targets. So let's always yield to the veto trigger, and then there we go. So that's going to drain their life total. So there we go. You can see we're just peering into the abyss. It gets it done. We'll take it, especially having something out there like veto. And, we draw into Dust Metal Guildmage. Let's see, do we run into another unfortunately, we don't run into another combo piece, but you can see where it's at with Queza getting that life gain going. So Peering into the Abyss is a one-hit KO, and it's fun to do that sometimes. So anyway, if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to Queza. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got 2 lands, and not super wild about this one. We can have Phyrexian Manamorph potentially enter, but yeah, let's go and mulligan on this one. I'd like to see a little bit more action. And yes, we will keep on this one. I like it. We got Demonic Tutor. We got a card draw source. We do have to put 1 card on the bottom. And I guess at this point, we've got Frantic Surge. I think we'll just put Snapcaster on the bottom. I think we're okay with that. So we're going to click OK, because I like everything else. We've got Tezzeret to kind of start digging for some more of our artifacts, or at least some of our combo pieces. We got the land drops for the turn. And Demonic... Don't know why I'm saying it like that, but Demonic Tutor is, yeah, we can just grab whatever we want with that. So, and then we run into Soul Ring. So, hey, I like that. Let's go for Misty. Let's go Misty, and let's showcase our very own Soul Ring against our opponent. Let's grab Underground Sea. Let's go Soul Ring off of Underground Sea, then anything else. We do not have anything for 2. We will go ahead and pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Queza. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Playing against Korvold. Flying, whenever Korvold enters the battlefield or attacks, sacrifice another permanent. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1 counter on Korvold and draw a card. So the only thing that we're kind of missing, and I'd like to see, is some spot removal. If we get into a spot to where Korvold is kind of getting a little silly or getting out of hand. And so that's something we kind of want to do, potentially. Ooh, Sword of the Meek. So we can Demonic Tutor for Thopter Foundry. Is that what we really want to be doing right now, though? I think we're okay with that, actually. All right, so let's go Prismatic Vista. Yeah, I think we're good with that. So let's go ahead and crack Prismatic Vista. Let's grab ourselves because Thopter Foundry is going to be white. We'll have enough. So we'll actually end up grabbing Plains on this one. We'll grab Plains. Let's go Demonic Tutor. And we're going to grab Thopter Foundry, because I've been itching to play Thopter Foundry, and then we'll drop in Sword of the Meek. It's going to be 1/2. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So we did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that will apply my affiliate link, and that'll allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. So if you do use that link, much obliged. I certainly appreciate it. Let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you want to play Commander online, they've got you covered. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home in the Esper Thopter Hangar, let's get those Thopters going. It's officially free time, so let's have some fun. We'll be able to showcase what Thopter Foundry is all about here in a little bit. So we'll be able to get down Thopter Foundry, get Sword of the Meek going. And we've still got a Frantic Search that we can go for. We can untap those lands, and that'll be some extra mana too. All right, so this is going to be Pitiless Selena for 1. Drops it down to 37, and we run into Opt. Okay, so let's drop an Ancient Tomb. And if we end up going Thopter Foundry, that cuts us off Frantic Search mana. So let's go ahead and tap down Ancient Tomb. Let's tap down Plains. Let's tap down Blue. Let's go Frantic Search. It's going to be 1/2. Draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. We at least have Opt and Tezzeret to drop if we're not really feeling what we've got going. Ooh, Cyclonic Rift and Counterspell. So let's go ahead and discard Opt, and we're going to discard Tezzeret. That's untap 3 lands. There's a little bit of a free spell right there. Let's go Thopter Foundry, and we'll tap down for 1 more blue. And then anything else, we will pass the turn over to... Actually, they've only got 1 card in the hand. And we'll just wait. We'll wait on this one. Maybe they've got an answer for this, but if not, we've got the Thopter Foundry. We're going to start to make some tokens out there. We've got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 different 5 mana, which is going to allow us to get 5 Thopter tokens onto the battlefield and get some life gain going. So we'll end up going for that. We do have Counterspell and Cyclonic Rift in the hand. I do like having those against Korvold. If they rely heavily on a bunch of treasure tokens, or they crack a bunch of treasure tokens to get Korvold down, at least that gives us the opportunity to kind of hit the reset button. All right, so that's going to be Korvold entering the battlefield. And let's see what they decide to go for. Sacrifice another permanent. So we'll see what they decide to sacrifice off of this. So they sacrifice Gadrak. That's going to be a treasure token. And I will be honest, it's been a minute since I played against Korvold. So if they get into a loop that I don't see or I don't recognize right away, I do apologize. I'm just giving you a heads up. So, all right, so it's going to be Lightning Greaves onto Korvold. That's going to be a 5/5. If they decide to swing in, we're going to get Thopter Foundry going, and we'll be in a pretty good spot. So, all right, so we got Korvold swinging in. They're going to be able to sacrifice the treasure token. Yeah, and that'll be an extra counter, and then draw a card. All right, so let's get Thopter Foundry going. Okay, so we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I think we'll end up making this trade. I'm okay with this. So let's go Thopter token onto Korvold. And we're going to get the Thopter tokens. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you don't know the combo, and we're going to explain it here in just a second, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for every mana that you have, you get to generate a Thopter token, and you get to gain a life. So it's not necessarily a combo that closes the game out. Now, if you have other pieces, it can. But the way we have this deck set up is that we are basically just... we're just getting as much colorless mana or using as much mana as possible just to get these Thopter tokens on the battlefield and just kind of stabilize until we get into something else. So right now we definitely need to find another blue source at this point, but at least we can get the Thopters going, and that is definitely going to help us out. So in fact, we can't even get Queza going, so we need to find another color source. But yeah, that's basically how it goes. For every mana that you have, you get to create some Thopter tokens turn after turn, and it always ends up being a lot of fun. All right, so let's drop in Windswept Heath. That's going to give us counter magic. We've got more than enough to hold up Counterspell. So we're going to go ahead and get the offensive going. We're going to get the Thopter token swinging in. Let's go. Swinging in for a 2/3. That's going to drop them down to 37. And then anything else, we will pass the turn. So we'll see what they have. If they end up going for Korvold, we're going to probably end up going for Counterspell. That way it'll jam it up a little bit, and it'll make it to where they just can't really counter a lot of stuff, and then we can get back onto our token game plan. So once we kind of establish our token army, that'll give us a lot of blockers for days. And then once we get that established, we can get Queza down and really start to get that going. So yeah, so we've got Thopter Foundry in here. I really enjoy that. We've got Mindcrank in here, so that's another way that we can get them moving. I'm really enjoying Queza. It's really funny with Queza. So if we end up going Counterspell on crop rotation, that just kind of doesn't really sit really well with them, I bet. So let's go and crack Windswept Heath. Yeah, I kind of like doing this because that puts them down on mana. And that's kind of the main thing that we're trying to do. So let's go and grab ourselves. We only have 1 black source, but I think if we're trying to get peer into the Abyss, but we can't really... Yeah, let's go Tundra. So let's go Counterspell on crop rotation, because that's basically them just going down a land. They just sacrificed a land. So we're going to be able to stop that. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So main thing is we're trying to stop old Korvold from entering the battlefield. That's the name of the game plan. So let's see if they decide to swing in with Pitiless Plunderer. If not, we've got some Thopter tokens to make. And let's get these Thopters going. See what they're tapping out for. It's going to be 1, 2, Skullport Merchant. Sacrifice another creature, draw a card. Create a treasure token. So let's get Thopter Foundry going. Actually, just wait until they get to their main phase and their end step. That'll actually end up working out. They've got 1 card left in the hand. And let's see what this is. All right, so we're going to get Thopter Foundry going. Okay, so we've got ourselves a nice little Thopter army. There, look at this. This is looking good. All right, so we run into Snapcaster, which is pretty much going to be anything. Let's go and push in right now. We're going to push in with the entire crew because we can always make more Thopters on the back end. So we got 7 coming across. It's going to drop them down to 30. And we've got Snapcaster Demonic Tutor if we wanted to end up going for that, which we've got enough mana for Tezzeret. And I think I kind of like that. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. So let's go Snapcaster, because we don't have the black mana for Peer into the Abyss, unfortunately, right now. So let's go Snapcaster, and we'll tap down Ancient Tomb. Yes, and we do have a black mana for Demonic Tutor. We're going to make sure I didn't tap down for that. Let's go Demonic Tutor, Flashback, and then we're going to grab ourselves Tezzeret. So that's one last colorless. Tap down for black. And we can still make 3 more Thopters. So let's get this popped out. Let's grab ourselves Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge. That's going to go into the hand. We can't cast that just yet because it's 6 mana. And then anything else we will pass the turn. But yeah, with Thopter Foundry combo, you know, even if you're not a fan of combos, you can just see how it's just like an honest Magic combo. Not saying that most combos are not honest, because that, you know, it's a part of the game. You know, you sit down and play Magic and combos are part of it. But you can see where if you play in a meta where certain players don't enjoy combos, you can see where Thopter Foundry is something that, as a, you know, maybe more of a competitive player, if you're trying to tone down a deck, it is a very, you can interact with this very easily. You know, if they have some sort of graveyard disruption, they stop it. If they have a way to pop Thopter Foundry, they can stop it. It's easily disruptible, and at the same time, it's pretty high impact, you know, especially in a game like Commander. That is going to be Damnation. So that's going to clean the entire board up. That's fine. We still get to make a few more Thopters, and that's going to be a couple treasure tokens for our opponent. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's get the... and that's one of the nice things. We lose the Thopters, but we just get that mana going. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. So let's get Thopter Foundry going. Alright, so we get 3 Thopters for our troubles. Let's see what we draw into for the turn. Flooded Strand. Let's go and drop in Flooded Strand. And let's go ahead and crack Flooded Strand. We want to grab ourselves probably a black-blue source. I think that would be pretty good. And we already have Scrubland, so let's go and grab Watery Grave. We're going to shock that one in. And if we end up going for Tezzeret, let's make sure we tap down for Tezzeret mana first. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then tap down for black and then blue. And then we can still get 2 extra Thopters. So let's get Tezzeret down. Let's go and push in with our Thopters first. That way we can get in for that 4 damage. Just going to drop them down to 26. And then let's go for the Thopter Foundry for 2 total mana. And then let's go for the +2 on Tezzeret. So we're going to drain our opponent. All right, 46 to 18. And then anything else past the turn. So we'll see what they can showcase for it. But with Tezzeret on the battlefield, we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're looking at 7 total artifacts. There we go. Opponent's going to scoop it up on that one. Next turn, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then that's going to be 8 artifacts on the battlefield. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's going to be 16 right there. All right, so we're going to have combat damage in the air with the Thopter Foundry tokens that we're generating. And then once we go for the +2 from Tezzeret, we're going to be able to deal damage from them. So you can see with Queza, we didn't get Queza down on the battlefield, but the way this deck is set up is a control aspect. And, you know, we're just trying to see what we draw into. So we draw into the Thopter Foundry combo. Like, all right, there we go. So we get the Thopter Foundries down, get the tokens down, then we run into Tezzeret. That's another way to kind of grind the game out. So you can see there's a lot of different ways you can build Queza, whether it's control, combo, whatever you want to do. Queza is a lot of fun, and I've definitely been enjoying it. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.